Happy Friday, parents. So I want to go over how this week went. First of all, if your child was put in a different class because of Miss Nolan's move to fifth grade, we appreciate everything. I know that was probably hard for the kids. So thank you again for making it a smooth transition for the kids, and we miss them dearly. So let's get into the academics. So for reading, what we've been working on is reading fictional stories. And so I kind of put together something that is beneficial for you as parents to help with the students. So what we do in class is we have partners to talk to one another about their stories so that they can work together to figure things out. So I made a little sign, partners talk, and they do that to grow as readers, and they do it by figuring stuff out. And ways to do that is to ask questions when I get confused. So if you're reading with your kid, encourage them to ask you questions when they get confused. The second thing is to track the character and make predictions. Think about how the character travels on the story mountain. And if you're confused about that, your student can also help you with that. The third thing is to listen to your child read, to just check for fluency. Do they sound like a natural reader? If they're reading it really choppy, then that book is probably too hard. And the last thing is they should be growing ideas. They should be thinking about the characters, thinking about the characters' relationships and how they react to problems, to think about ideas about the characters. So one sentence stem is, this is making me realize, and then they finish that sentence stem. All right. So we're doing that in reading. In reading, we are also starting a new read aloud, which is one of my favorites this year, and it is called Tiger Rising. I want to show you a picture of it so that you know. Hang on one second. So this is called The Tiger Rising by Kate DiCamillo. They're familiar with this author because they read Because of Winn-Dixie in third grade, and it's the same author. So this is an amazing book. We read it every year with the curriculum, and I just wanted to let you know that. And then also, hang on one second. All right, and also let's go into writing. So in writing, we're working on writing realistic fiction stories. The kids have thoroughly enjoyed this because they really get to express themselves and write realistic fiction stories. And so what we did was actually make a bin in our library, in our classroom library, just for their stories. So their books that they're making are in there for other students to read. It's been so powerful. All right, so for math, now that I'm a math and science and social studies teacher, we've been working on adding and subtracting with decimals. So today, let me show you what we worked on to kind of sum up the week. Hang on one second. We did this, and I had partners or table partners work on this. What this was word problems that include decimals, so that they had to add and subtract decimals. And these are just two of the examples, and then we did it together. And one of the things I encourage with them is that they write the answer in a complete sentence so that they know what they're answering. Because a lot of times they'll get an answer, but then it won't make sense with what the question's asking. So for instance, on the first one, the answer was Susie has $2.23 left. On the second one, the answer was Robin will need 1 7/75 pieces of paper. And so we have to get them to kind of say it like dollars, but then like money, but also say it as place value. So 1 7/75 is that second one. Alrighty, and next week we're going to be working on partial products. Hang on one second. We're going to be working on partial products, and that's multiplication. So for instance, your kid will get something like this, like 362 times 7. We would do the standard algorithm, which would be, 7 times 2, bring it down. 7 times 6, bring it down. We would do that. But for kids in fourth grade, they're learning it a few different ways. So I just want to show you this way. If you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to do this with your child. You can show them the standard algorithm. But this is what we're going to be working on in class. So we take 362 times 7. And the first thing we do is decompose the number. So we can't decompose 7. It's just 7. But we can decompose 362. We can decompose it by doing 362. So you're looking at what place value they're in. So 3, the value of 3 is 300. 6, the value of 6 is 60. And 2 is in the 1 spot, so it's just a value of 2. So after you decompose the number, you take it and put it in to partial products grid. So I have 362 times 7. Once I get this, it's easier to multiply because now I have some numbers with zeros. So then I'm going to multiply it and put it in the box. So 7 times 300 is 2100, 2100. 7 times 60 is 420. 7 times 2 is 14. And then I take all these numbers that are in these boxes and I add them up. 2100 plus 420 plus 14 is 2534. If you want, what would be really cool is during homework, you can have them practice this, but then you check it with standard algorithm to show them both ways, and so that they can see that it is the same. Alrighty, moving right along. So in science, we did the sink or float experiment yesterday. And next week, we're going to be working on mixtures and solutions, which is going to be really fun because the kids get to see what gets classified as mixtures and what gets classified as solutions. And then in social studies, we're learning about Texas regions. All right, parents, if you have any other questions or you need more information, you can always reach out to me on my cell phone. So have a great weekend. See you Monday.